One day on the promenade in Whitkirk, a 6-year-old girl appears as if from nowhere. She has no name, no identity. All she has is a bag with a single black flower in it and a terrifying story to tell. Black flowers is actually really horrible. Probably one of the most horrible things I've ever written. You kind of see the effects of that without any violence necessarily appearing on the page. Until the very end, when things reach a conclusion that frankly demands violence in order for it all to be resolved. There is a terrible place out in the middle of nowhere. It's a place that nobody knows about, and it's a place that when people go, they don't come back again. It's a place where black flowers grow. In many ways, it's a book about death. Black Flowers is a kind of alternative afterlife, really. None of the characters go to heaven, but they kind of have a continuation of their lives in terms of the fiction that the characters produce, and then the effect that that has on other people's lives. And I think that for me is what an afterlife is. I'm not a religious person. But for me, you live on in people's memories and the effects that you have on them. So the book is kind of about that on a philosophical level. The Packhorse is a really, really nice pub in the city centre. A fair amount of Black Flowers was written here. It's very nice to get out of the house occasionally, and this just happens to be a really, really nice pub to come to, set my laptop up, I can start typing away, and I know I won't be disturbed. This is the School of Sociology and Social Policy at the University of Leeds, and this is where I worked for about 7 or 8 years. I always knew I wanted to be a writer, so I was looking for a job but not a career, so I found myself being a secretary here. I enjoyed working here. Like Neil in Black Flowers, actually, I very much wanted to get out and be a writer, because it does, you can do it, you can get up very early and you can stay up very late writing while you're working, but it does drain you after a while. So even though I really enjoyed working here, I was very much wanting to be a writer full-time, to be able to dedicate all my time to writing, and now that I can do that, it's wonderful. I work in a few different ways. I often type notes on the computer, and I often handwrite. And they both complement each other in a way. I don't prefer one to the other. The difference I find is that I can just type and get the ideas out, but you do it so quickly that you can pass over some, whereas there's something about sitting with a pen and writing that it takes a little bit more time, and it gives your mind a little bit more time to absorb that idea and see where else it might lead. Leeds to me is and always has been my home. Although I don't write about it explicitly, I definitely take certain places in it and put them into my fiction. I'm sure that it's shaped my attitudes. My parents always said there was always money for books, so I was brought up to treasure books and writing. The book has a book within a book, and that's a work of crime fiction that's actually been based on real events. And what we find out as the book progresses is that all the stories gradually come together and influence each other. And so there's this kind of continuation of a story that's being told over and over again over the years, and that was initially told 40 years ago, but is still having an impact in the present.